Thank you so much, Naomi. Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Narayanan, and I'm the CEO of Avaz. And today, in this Tech Spotlight series, we're going to talk about Avaz, the RAC app, and we'll also be covering some of the what the app offers right now, and also some of the new exciting features that we're working on, uh, especially building some of the artificial intelligence kind of like developments over the past few years and how we are bringing that into our AAC offering for customers. So that's what we want to cover this today. So feel free, I want to keep this as a fairly interactive session. Feel free to kind of ping, ask your questions on chat or call in and or tell unmute and stop me from proceeding. I will start with a quick presentation and set context about Avaz. So since you guys can see my screen, I'll go ahead and start. So Avaz, the word Avaz means voice in the Hindi language. So Hindi is one of the largest spoken languages in India, and we started off from India, and so we named the app Avaz. So this is kind of like the very first version of Avaz back that we created back almost 14 years ago now, which was kind of like a bulky device that we kind of built the entire hardware for. And this could be mounted on a wheelchair, could be used by people with cerebral palsy, autism, all of that. And now we've kind of evolved it into a software specific version. So we kind of focus, we don't build devices anymore. We build software that goes on any device. So that's kind of been our iteration, our evolution over these 14 years of being in existence in the AAC space. And so we have a very diverse product offering in terms of for the entire diverse population that we address. So starting from like it would work on your Android phone to your iPhones to your iPads, and coming soon we'll be having it on Windows devices as well. So kind of Avaz is compatible across different operating systems itself. And this is something that we had to build because we were building it for the Indian market to begin with. And then we realized that the same set of solutions can scale very easily globally. Um, we have a lot of customers around the world. In fact, US is one of our largest markets. A lot of the school districts in the US, in South Carolina, Texas, Illinois, Nebraska, California, Oregon, pretty much all the states, Avaz is used across in different school districts, different assistive technology centers, clinics, etc. Um, Also, obviously, we support multiple languages. So hence we kind of are able to, hence we are used across the world in like places like Vietnam, Sri Lanka, different European languages as well. And we've had kind of like a significant impact in the way that almost like on Avaz, about 3 million, over 3 million words are spoken every month. So that's a pretty huge number in terms of how much communication happens using Avaz. And just to give you a sense of the kind of impact that we are able to have around the world. And we are able to support multiple languages: English, French, Swedish, the different Indian languages, Bengali, Tamil, Telugu, Marathi. Vietnamese is one of the common requested languages that we get from the US. And we also have a few other languages that we are working on, which is Dutch, Italian, and German, that we will hope to roll out soon this year. So that's kind of like a quick background about Avaz. Um, and also wanted to highlight here that we do offer extended evaluation copies of the product for professionals. So feel free to reach out to this email, screenshot this, or if the recording is available, please send me an email. We will reach out to you with respect to the kind of like extending the validity of your license. So Avaz is, again, if you search on the App Store, on any app, on the Apple App Store or on the Play Store, it's free to download. You will get a trial of 15 days. So 2 weeks, you'll be able to use all the features for free. So it kind of you are able to get an entire sense of what the product is. And then you can reach out to us if you're an SLP or a special education teacher. Feel free to reach out for us for an extended license, and we'll be happy to do that. Uh, Great. So what we're going to do today is talk about, we'll do a quick demo of the product. We'll kind of go through some of the unique features. Given we're kind of trying to compress it within 35 minutes, I want to show specifically features that are unique to Avaz. And I'll also walk you through some of the new updates that we are working on. And finally, I would love to show you some of the artificial AI-based features that we're working on that we recently demoed at ATIA and got a lot of positive feedback on. So yeah, if that's kind of like the agenda. Feel free to stop me for questions. I'm going to now switch to my Avaz app and walk you through
Clear.
some of the features of Avaz. So this, what you see right now is the kind of the 40 pictures per screen grid size of Avaz. And I can create a sentence by tapping any word. So let me say,
I
I can say
want
and let's say
food,
water.
water.
Now, you'll see that when I tap any word, there is this zooming in animation. So that is something that we created specifically for, initially we built it out for people with children with autism, so that it would give them the visual reinforcement of tapping something. Over a period of time, having worked with kind of experts in the field, a lot of the speech therapists came back to us, especially someone as influential as Lauren Enders came back to us and told us that this was a great feature. The zooming in feature was a great feature for kids who were hard of hearing, kids who had CVI. So over a period of time, we started seeing that the same feature that we built initially for kids with autism was actually useful for different kinds of conditions. So that is again something unique to ours. You can turn it off as well. So it might be a distraction for people. You can turn off that zoom feature from the settings. Now, once you've created a sentence, you can tap the speak buttons to speak it out.
I want water.
And what you can also do is you can share the message. So when you share the message, it goes out as an image. So you can choose to send it out as an image. You can choose to send it out just as a text. The advantage of sending it out as an image that it's great for, like on a phone, you can send it out via WhatsApp or iMessage. So it will have the pictures along with it. So it'll show the same pictures that you're seeing here along with it, or you can use it in a literary activity as well. So you have those options available in Avaz to share the messages. And you can tap the clear button to clear it off.
Clear.
Now,
Home.
with Avaz, we use the symbol sticks images. So you'll see we have a library of over 40,000 symbol sticks images. You'll see that the vocabulary is laid out in the vocabulary is laid out kind of like you'll see the verbs in green. Using the Fitzgerald color coding scheme, you'll see the verbs in green, you'll see the pronouns in yellow, the nouns are in orange. So all of that is pretty much standard across all the AAC apps. But something unique to Avaz that we just introduced was the ability to add intonation to the text to speech. So in any AAC app today, if an AAC user was to communicate that they are angry, so for example, if I type out um,
I
feel,
feel.
and I can do this right.
Describe.
I feel, let's say I feel mad.
Mad.
So if I were to speak this out, is how it speaks out.
I feel mad.
And it's not really angry. It's not really showing how angry you are. But now with Avaz, what you can do is you can select a tone in which you can speak it out. So you can actually say,
I feel mad.
It actually comes with the intonation. Or
Clear.
it could be as something
Keyboard.
like, maybe let me show you an
Favorites.
example of a sarcastic. So I
Keyboard.
can say, I'm now
Y.
to the keyboard as well.
Yeah. R. I. Right.
I can make it sound a bit sarcastic.
Yeah, right.
And so this is something that is kind of the idea here being that we want to really give the user to be authentic in how they communicate. Now, this could be great for a slightly more advanced AAC user who are able to kind of like communicate. So maybe it's a adult AAC user who wants to show expressions, but it could also be used for children to show, to kind of like give them the confidence, give them the kind of like the confidence of uh, the tones itself. So when we were doing beta testing, so any of our features that come out into Avaz undergoes like different beta testing. We share it with speech therapists, we share it with parents. And when we shared this feature with our beta testing group, the one of the parents actually wrote back to us saying that the child was really engaged in using it, and she wanted to use it and kind of like play around with the tones. And she was fully engaged in the AAC app while kind of like using the tones. And then we had a lot of autistic adult users who were using the app and using emotions to communicate. So our kind of like this entire feature went through different stages of beta testing and feedback. And it was something that we are kind of very proud of in terms of making the experience to select a tone fairly straightforward. And we are very excited about this particular feature, and something that is very unique to any to Avaz compared to any AAC app. So again, I would love for all of you to try it out, and do reach out for us if you want to kind of like have an extended trial around this as well.
Clear.
I want to go back
Pictures.
to
Home.
the picture mode, the picture vocabulary, and show a couple of other things here. So we also have on the left, you will see on the bottom left, you will see the quick, which
Quick.
houses all the quick communication phrases. So it could be things like, I want to go to the toilet, I don't want to use Avaz, things, all of that is programmed into this. And you can obviously add more words, etc. in this. The other thing that
Home.
you can do with Avaz is on the bottom right, you'll see a search button. And when I tap on that,
Search.
and let's say if I want to search the word dog, oops, say dog, and I can tap on the C path. So when I select this, what you'll notice what happens here is that it kind of like it's basically showing how to get to that word. So it's basically helping the person model it. So it can be used by special education.
Things.
You can as a speech therapist, you can give it out to special education teachers to kind of try it out and figure out where the words are. A lot of parents use it to kind of understand how the entire vocabulary is structured. Um, and to create
Animals.
kind of like a quick modeling mechanism as well.
Dog.
So that's kind of like another feature that's unique to Avaz, the search with the entire kind of like path tracing available in it.
Clear.
Now,
Home.
the next kind of part where Avaz is kind of unique is the ease with which you can customize the vocabulary itself. So we understand that everyone has their own way of designing a vocabulary, designing a core board, designing a topics folder. And we want it to be really straightforward, really easy for them to design it however they want it, however they think that's appropriate for the client or the AAC user. So I want to show you how you can program words in Avaz. So you go, and so as an example, I'll go to topics.
Topics.
Anytime you want to add any words in Avaz, you go to menu, you tap on edit, and I can tap on add new. I'm going to add, I'm going to add a new folder. So let's say I'm going to add favorite food. What this does is that it didn't find the exact match, so it pulled out this image from the internet, and so you don't have to save it onto your gallery and import it. All of that steps are kind of just taken care of by Avaz. It will immediately show a set of images from the internet here. You can save it, and then you can drag and move it around. And now what I can do is I can add a bunch of words together. So I don't have to go one by one. I can add just a bunch of words together. Let's say I add a bunch of my favorite food items and some healthy food items. Let's say coffee, Coke, tea, and let's say pancakes. So I've added like 6, 7, 8 items. I'm going to tap on save. And what it does is it automatically creates all of these images, all of these buttons with the correct image, with the kind of like the color coding as well. And again, this is a first step. It's immediately created. You can now go ahead and edit it as well. So I can select this. I can tap on change. And then I can say maybe pick an image from the internet, or I can use the camera or the gallery to add the image as well. The other thing that I can do with Avaz is actually record a message here so that I can use it to kind of like speak it out in a particular manner, or it could be in a completely different language. So recording is something that we built out in Avaz from the very first version, because a lot of the text-to-speech text-to-speech support for the different Indian languages was not really available then. So, and then what you can do is select a bunch of words. You can also hide it so that you can then display the words as and when you require. So you have all those options available in kind of Avaz to kind of like quickly program Avaz for your client's needs. And once you have programmed it, you can create a backup, share it through AirDrop, share it through Google Drive, share it through Dropbox, and the same page, you'll see the same layouts on a phone, on an Android phone, on an iPad, on an iPhone. All of that is kind of consistent. So once you've created it on one iPad, you pretty much can replicate it, the same layout on the other devices as well. You can choose different images. So I just saw Jen's question. It does. So I showed you, but you can navigate and shows you multiple images from the internet that you can choose from. All right. So I'm going to quickly show you a couple of features of
Home.
to Avaz in the keyboard.
Keyboard.
So the keyboard mode, you'll see that it has prediction with pictures, which is something unique to Avaz, wherein if you start typing, it gives you the current word prediction. So I can say I was. If I start typing go,
G-O,
it automatically shows going.
going.
So it does the first current word prediction as well as the next word prediction. I can say I was
To
going to say
that.
Now, one of the other things with Avaz that we realized was that a lot of kids are phonetic spellers. So when they start typing out words phonetically, a lot of times the prediction didn't show anything at all. So for example, we were trying this out with a kid.
Clear.
Wanted to type out the word ocean. And so he typed it out as OSHA. And then the prediction didn't show anything. So now we've added a feature wherein it will have the phonetic prediction as well. So ocean shows up when they type out OSHA. Similarly, for example, if you type leg as an
L-A-G-E,
it shows leg. So you have the different ways in which kind of kids spell phonetically. All those predictions come up here in Avaz.
Clear.
You can save these messages. So you have
favorites.
Way to save these messages as well into your favorites. You can categorize them. So we have some preset categories: about me, comments, greetings. You can change those categories. You can add to these categories as well. So a quick way to kind of categorize and save your messages here.
Keyboard.
And so that's again something specific to Avaz, specific to the keyboard. We see a lot of our users use the keyboard. Again, especially a lot of our autistic adult users are using the Avaz keyboard. And with respect to kind of access methods, Avaz is kind of like it works with the iPads or the Androids base, or the kind of like the default scanning system. And so it is able to kind of like respect all of those switch scanning and cross-hair scanning, all of that options available. You also have touch accommodations within the settings. So I'm going to just gloss over some of the settings to quickly show you some of them. You have touch accommodations to showcase kind of like to have different needs of the client. You can address them using the touch accommodations based on how many times you want them, how you want them to operate it. You also have the option for grammar. So you can show kind of like the different word forms. So let me give you an example here.
I.
When I type on it gives me kind of like the different options.
Go back.
So I should say, let's say want.
Want.
It gives us the different set of options here if you tap it again. So this is another option where if you tap it again, it will show you the kind of next set of like grammar prediction. It's an option you can turn off as well. Now, what I have
Go back.
demoed here is kind of like the current feature set that we have. We have different grid sizes. So for example, we have about 15 pictures per screen. So we have grid sizes that can support smaller grid sizes as well. Now we are working on grid sizes that can go above 40. So for example, this is kind of our
Stop.
this is a version that will be releasing in the next kind of like 6 to 8 weeks. This is kind of like the 77 pictures per screen grid size of Avaz. You will see pretty much the same layout, kind of like the look and feel is very similar. But one of the interesting things that we have done here is that you have this frozen panel on the bottom. So while I can create sentences the same way, the frozen panel at the bottom is always available, and these have the core words available. So I can say
I want.
And if I go to food, and I can go to actions now. So it will give me only the food related action words here, or food related described words here. So it's a contextually predictive kind of like system here that we are building. And so anytime you go to a particular folder and you hit on any of the core word folders at the bottom, it will kind of show you the appropriate kind of descriptors. Again, it is something that we have kind of programmed. You can always override it. So you can always kind of tweak it. It is based out of a kind of like a master folder. So you can always kind of uncheck and check what you want to show as words here. One of the other things that we are adding to this feature, adding to this release that will come out by early April, is the ability to add a video. So now you'll see here that while it is a 77 pictures per grid size, you have the option of kind of different, but the sizes of the buttons can be different. And I can add a YouTube video as well.
When you feel so mad.
So this actually can play out. So this is a Daniel Tiger song. You can kind of ask it to play from like 5 seconds to say 22 seconds. You can define that timeline and it will play out only that snippet. And it will not show you the other videos or recommend any other videos. It will only show you that particular kind of like 5 to 22 second snippet. And then you can have a conversation around this. So you can open up the numbers folder. You can talk about numbers. You can go back and you have this different kind of like core words also directly accessible at the bottom. So this is a new feature, and a kind of like this grid sizes. This new feature will be getting released very soon. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Before kind of I will just kind of like the last few minutes, I want to show you the final feature that we are working on, which is kind of focused on customizing and building, like creating a very quick way to customize Avaz. Is there any questions that I can answer? Feel free to unmute it and ask. Um, all right. So anyway, you can continue asking it in on chat. I'm going to show you um, uh, this feature, which we call as kind of like just-in-time programming, or like kind of nitrocharging the way you customize and program your vocabulary. So back in like 12 months ago, when we showed when we were kind of exhibiting at ATIA, we were kind of asking people about what they wanted to see in their AAC app. What they're able to kind of see, what they want in the ACA app that can be powered by artificial intelligence. And one of the most common requests that came about was the ability to program words really quickly. And so that was something that we started. That was one. And the other thing was obviously authentic communication. So that's why the tones feature came about very first. And that's one of the reasons why we worked on the tones feature. And this this feature about customizing and building out like a very fast way of creating a page set was something very important that a lot of people, speech therapists told us. And so I'm going to show
Topics.
you an example of what we are doing. So I can say, again, go back to menu, edit, and let's say I'm going to create a folder, create a page set for a 12-year-old who loves monster truck rallies, and hit on save. And so what we want this to do is really simplify our work, right? Simplify, kind of create a page set which is in kind of alignment with the rest of the vocabulary, is able to kind of take relevant words for that particular topic, for that particular context, and lay it out so that it's very easy. It's kind of laid out in the same principle as others. So for example, monster truck memories is what it has created here. And when I open this up, you'll see that this is what it has created here. And all this within a minute of me giving a command. So basically, I've basically asked it, given it a command to say, I have this context. Why didn't you generate a page set for me? So it has created some comments. It has created some verbs. We'll need to work on it as well to make it kind of like, instead of jumping, it should be jump. All of those we can work on. But this is just a sample of what is possible and what can be kind of like really make your customization really fast. So for example, I can tap on this and let's say I can choose the excited tone and say, let's say, roaring crowd.
Roaring crowd.
And so that's basically a very quick demo of what we are building with AI. Obviously, you can have this generate like social stories, for example, social stories of going to a dentist. All of that can also be programmed into this. This is the very first version that we have built. We want to give it out for beta as well. So if you're interested in signing up for a beta, do let us know, and we'll send you a link for you to play around with in some time and get your feedback as well as to how you would use it. So that's something I want to kind of like, I've kind of quickly cramped in about the app demo and some of the new features that we are releasing and some of the AI specific features that we are kind of like working on and would love to have beta users sign up as well. So that's right at the 30-minute mark. And I'm going to answer a couple of questions on chat. So, okay, thanks, Lakshmi, for answering that. So we do have, Cassie, please reach out for the evaluation copy. So we do have, the app is available for download for free from the App Store for 2 weeks. You get access to all the features, and then just drop us a note and we will provide you an extended license once you have signed up on the app. Jen, we do work with MDM. We do work with MDM. So we do have a lot of schools who've done a bulk purchase and then they've kind of used the MDM to kind of install it on their different devices. Awesome. Again, I'll be around for a few more minutes. If you have any questions, if you want me to specifically ask any questions, would that work for free copies for evaluations as well? So actually for evaluations, no, because we do it more as a based on the accounts. So so Jen, if you can kind of maybe we can connect and we
So,
can
yeah, sorry. So, we do kind of a lot of evaluations here and it's all managed through a system. So as speech language pathologists working at Tech Owl, we have AAC apps that we show our consumers and that we, recommend or do trials with. But it's all managed through MDM. So in order to get the code on there, it would kind of have, does that make sense? It's a
Yeah,
weird, very specific random question. So if we, want to connect outside, I don't want to take up everyone's
Yeah.
time with it. But this is all very, very cool. Just so you know, this is amazing.
Thank you so much. And Jen, if you can DM me or email, we can we can kind of like set up a time to talk and maybe walk through that. We would kind of love to have kind of Avaz on the loaner devices and the demo devices that you have. So we'll figure out a way to do that. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
clear,
If there are no more questions, this has been really amazing. The software is really cool. And thank you. Thank you so much for coming today and showing us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Naomi, for hosting us. And again, we are available at, let me just leave the final slide as, yeah. So we are available. So this is our email. You can reach us out there. Our website is avazapp.com. So thank you for taking the time and staying on for the demo. And please do reach out to us. Thank you.